We've all dreamt of what it would be like to live in Italy. Every day would be filled with wine, gelato, coffee, pasta, more coffee, more wine, maybe more pasta, and relaxing on some beautiful terrace overlooking sun-drenched hills under lazy clouds. Well, that's exactly what it is like in Piedmont, but I was surprised to find more connections than I expected to my Texan roots. In fact, Italians love barbecue a lot, and I love barbecue a lot, and Italians drive tractors, and I drive tractors. Wait, no I don't. What am I doing? Let's do this. Okay.
We're rolling, Rob.
The Langhe is not just one place, but many places. It holds the two most famous wine regions of Piedmont, Barolo and Barbaresco. And the people that live here embody what most of Italy is about, keeping their roots and traditions alive while being welcoming and hospitable to tourists who travel here wanting to experience those traditions themselves. The reason I keep coming back here is the genuine connection between the people, land, and tradition. It's also not so bad to grab a coffee at a Michelin-starred restaurant. This may be one of the most interesting cafes, I'll put it in quotes, that I've been to before, because we're at Ciao Tornavento, a Michelin-starred restaurant. Why are we here having coffee?
Because this is a place to be. Tornavento is the most fancy place in the area, and is a really great restaurant. It's the real gap between tradition and modern. I hope that once we're gonna have time to have a lunch together here.
I like that. It's always emotional for me every time I come here. And even as a person that has no Italian background or blood, my blood runs thick with Northern European ancestry. And a lot of people say people from Piedmont are closed. And I've never understood that before, because I feel like every time I come to Piedmont that everybody's down to welcome you.
And I'm really happy that you're doing this project, because you have to travel all along Italy. So Italy is a long country, and you will find for each stop different wine and different food. And even in a small country like Italy, you will find so many different experiences.
I love this restaurant, and I know that the coffee will be really good.
Does exist a toast with the coffee?
It does now.
It does now.
Cheers.
Cheers.
On our last episode, we heard the tale about the first king of Italy buying a quaint hunting villa for his mistress, an estate that later would become one of the most famous Barolo producers in the world. Well, at Pertinace, one of the world's best-known Barbaresco producers, Cesare informed us that for every Italian love story, there's probably another about assassination.
And we are very, very close to the Roman Empire, because our name, Pertinace, the Pertinace cellar, comes from a Roman emperor who was born in this area where we are now. Pertinace was a Roman emperor in 193 AD, and was emperor for a very, very short time.
I think it was 72 days.
87 days.
87 days.
He was 73 years old, and he was emperor for 87 days. And he tried to stop the powerful of Praetorians. The Praetorians, they were the bodyguard of the Roman emperor, but they were even the most corrupted people. For that reason, only after 87 days, they assassinated him with daggers, yep. And then decapitated him. Anyway,
that's efficient.
Yeah, to be sure that it was there. After that, the Pertinace word has an Italian meaning that means a man who follow with strongness his dreams and his idea.
The idea and dream that Pertinace follows to produce high-quality wines may be singular, but it is a dream that is achieved by a collection of growers. In the States, a cooperative is usually associated with hippies or yuppies buying kale at their members-only supermarket. But here in the Langhe, it's about farmers who work their own vineyards, then come together to create wines that are a true expression of Barbaresco, a wine that is graceful, elegant, and age-worthy. Pertinace is a cooperative, and we have three growers here. So Can you explain to us what does a cooperative mean?
Means work together. Cooperative means work together and in our case, work together hard and in friendship. And this is important that people has to understand that cooperatives means quality wines.
What keeps them coming back to the vineyard? That you could sell this, you could make a lot of money by selling your land. Why? And it's very, very hard work. Why do you keep doing it?
E dopo cosa ne facciamo dei soldi?
What can I do? What they can do with the money?
It's only money. It's only money.
Fare il contadino bisogna avere la passione. Se non hai forse come tutti i lavori, però specialmente a lavorare in vigna, se non hai proprio ti deve piacere tanto. C'è mille imprevisti, la grandine, troppa pioggia e dopo lavoriamo sempre. Le ore non le contiamo noi contadini.
So this is your vineyard, Aldo. 2016.
16.
This is great. Bravo. I mean, it's-
Io ho fatto la mia parte, poi voglio dire in vigna, poi c'è anche la cantina.
So I like. I mean, what he said is like,
lavorare
this was
bene.
just his. He is one part of this whole thing, and that's again that basically it's a family and teamwork idea, which makes the cooperative work. Well, bevuma. Bevuma. The last 20 years has been transformative in Barolo, not only because of the increased tourist numbers, but because everyone is thinking about what the future generations will have. More and more producers are returning to organic farming practices, not just because it's a fad, but because it's essential for the land, farmers, and the next generation. A great example of this is in the commune of Lamora, where the Michele Chiarlo winery has been following organic farming methods since the mid-1980s. Stefano Chiarlo explained to us the philosophy behind using these techniques and how they not only benefit the soil, but the wine as well. So you farm organically or biodynamically?
Yeah, organically. We have also a very nice important study for the University of Torino that in the soil under 30-50 centimeter we have the same biodiversity like in the forest. So that means that the soil is rich of life, and also the taste of the grape of the wine is so authentic and with no contamination.
So I think a lot of people may not understand that having biodiversity under the soil with the microbes and the bugs and the worms, why is that good for the vines? Why is that healthy?
If we are a perfect balance and perfect biodiversity, we find that the grapes, especially the wine, have more character because probably they have the opportunity with the roots to absorb better the microelements and obviously the water, especially in the dry season.
And so not only are you doing something good for the environment, doing something good for your vineyard workers, but it does actually make the wine taste better.
Yeah, the main goal is obtain to keep the terroir for next generation with the same character and same green aspect. But also the goal to obtain more and more top quality wine is part of the project, I believe.
Okay, look, I gotta be honest with you. This is usually the part of the show where we sit down with a cool producer, drink some super dope old wine, and talk about how awesome it is, which we did do with Alberto Chiarlo, Stefano's brother. However, we also got to taste some of the best Langhe gelato you can imagine, and I really needed a palate cleanser after all that amazing wine. So, I just have to take this moment to say, if you're ever in Lamora and you find yourself wanting gelato, gelato al Barolo chinato con cioccolato is where it's at. Thank you for bringing us here. Once I had my gelato fix, it was time to eat. Again. The thing about Italy is each of its regions have a signature dish associated with it, paired alongside that region's wines. In Piedmont, that dish is vitello tonato, and that wine is Gavi di Cortese, or Gavi for short. What's unique about this dish is it uses ingredients from other parts of Italy, combining them together to create an umami bomb in the mouth unlike anything I've ever had. Veal, I've always understood, but like watching the chef, tonato sauce is anchovies, which aren't from Piedmont. Tuna, not from Piedmont. Olive oil, not from Piedmont. And capers.
and caper.
And it is really interesting. Obviously you can get all of this in Liguria,
Yep.
but tuna's not caught off Liguria. That's closer to Sicily too, right?
Yeah, probably yes. Is through the salt road arrived this different material, and they invent this kind of dish between Liguria, Sicily, and Piemonte.
Is this something that you, as Langhetto, have often?
Yeah. Usually,
Every day?
not every day, but every 2 days, yes.
I think having the Gavi, the Cortese,
Good.
acidic,
Yeah.
bright, this is almost like adding a little more lemon juice to everything.
Cortese is a variety very rich of flour and really delicate sensation. The crispy, the acidity is what gives the life to this wine and give this kind of distinctive attractivity in the nose, but also in the mouth, I believe.
Otanzo Otto, 1988.
Yeah.
First vintage of Trequio. And I'm going to open this.
Yes.
A little rusty, but hopefully I don't F it up.
Yeah, 88 was the first vintage with the new philosophy in the vineyard to reduce the yield through the green harvest. Until this vintage, Barolo was considered have a greater reputation, but drink locally in Italy, in some part of the Swiss, in the German part of the Swiss. But this first 88 surprised also the producer that tried to make the first experimentation in the vineyard. It's arrived on the market with a great surprise of the new philosophy that changed a little bit not the authenticity of Barolo, but the approachable of the Barolo wine.
When I look at a wine like this, I think of how precise the Langhe is and how we talk about single vineyards that are little tiny snippets of taste and sensations that can be different from one row to the next, not even one vineyard to the next, but one micro area to the next. And I love that Nebbiolo is a grape that can absorb all those differences and express them so accurately and with such voice and with such clarity. So it's great when you go back in time to 1988, the year that I graduated high school, and to think that this wine can still transmit a sense of place. To me, that's magic.
Well, here's to that. Cheers to the first vintage. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
1988.
I'm an 80s girl.
The star of the Langhe may be Nebbiolo, sure, but it's the people and landscapes that make this area so special. In 2014, the Langhe became a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and with that came more tourists looking to eat, drink, and explore this remarkable region. Lifelong resident Davide Rosso of Giovanni Rosso talked with us about what it's like to live that Serralunga life and the connection he feels between his work, life, and art. Do you feel there's a connection for you between art and wine?
The concept is that we are Italian, no? And Italy is absolutely art everywhere. And the wine, etc., is one of the art, is art too. Because if you see this here, all perfect, like a one garden, and this is also one art. And make wine is an art too.
I can see why you wanted to buy this. It's very relaxing.
Yes, this is a nice place. The Serralunga life is incredible, no? In the vineyard and in the world in the same time. The life here has changed a lot in the time. From the 90s has changed because the Barolo has started to export. No, the export has improved very well, and in the same time arrived the tourists. No, and the beginning was just importers or sommelier or journalists. No, and now is one area where they have the tourists from all around the world, everywhere.
With that Serralunga life, what are we going to do today to explore it?
Today, Serralunga life, the first we go in the vineyard because this is the after we see the winery.
Can we go see Vignerianda?
We go now to see vineyards. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Barolo is a region that captures the soul the moment you lay eyes on it. Each nook and cranny has a story to tell. Within the beautiful mosaic of twisting turns and rolling vineyards, there are a select handful of old vineyards that everyone agrees are a step above the rest. Vineyards is one such vineyard. The list of producers that own small parcels is the envy of other growers. Wine lovers across the world seek them out as if searching for the Holy Grail. Standing in this holiest of wine sites and drinking the wine made from the same place is an experience I will never forget, nor will my palate.
Original label.
Yeah, we have. This is the original label of my mother family, and this is 2015, and we taste directly in the vineyard, not before the
Exacto,
ladies.
of
So,
course, yeah. No,
we are
I love.
Excuse me, but we are
as
in
if I
Italy.
needed
Exactly,
more reasons to love
exactly.
Italians. You guys.
I love tasting the wine in the vineyard. And you were just talking about, the tractor over there is mowing and you can smell the herbs, the grass, and then the air is so fresh here, and you're like, the only industry that's in Alba for the most part is a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
So it's not
Maybe they have the moment in Alba because they have a Ferrero and they have a smell of cacao.
Yeah.
This is the unique pollution that we have in this area. And the quality of the air that is very clean, this make the difference. Also, the tree, the vine, live well in one place like this, no?
Vines of 70 years is not just a vineyard, it's part of the hill, because the roots go very deep in the soil, can go very, very, very long, and is really a part of the hill. Young vines explore just close to the vines, but the old vines have this fantastic exploration of the hill and is part of the hill.
This is one life, is not one business.
No.
Is generation of person that work, etc. And if you think the vineyard is eternal, no? And when finish the person, when person dead, finish the life, but the vineyard continue, no? And the actor, the protagonist is the vineyard, not me, not the winemaker, not the vineyard. The vineyard is eternal, no? Eternal.
I love that so much.
I can't stop smelling this. This is to Serra Lunga life.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go.
Salute.
On the Chicho.
Now we go to gin the aperitif, to Chicho.
Exactly, the Chicho, exactly. We have to have all this Nebbiolo, we have to have some champagne.
Okay, perfect.
The places we gather have a way of capturing shared experiences with our families and friends that can last a lifetime. In the heart of Serra Lunga, underneath a majestic 14th century castle, lies Centro Storico, an incredible enoteca, aka a wine bar, owned and operated by Alessio, aka Chicho, his wife Stefania, and his mother-in-law, who's in the kitchen. Centro Storico is a mecca of sorts to all that travel to Barolo. Chicho's enoteca has one of the greatest collections of Barolo on the planet, but what has always drawn me here is the amazing champagne list. After tasting lots of Barolo, the palate needs a pick-me-up, and there's nothing better than champagne. And Centro Storico is the place for that. You might think it odd for a small wine bar in the middle of a very old Italian village to be home to more champagne than most restaurants in Champagne. Well, it makes sense to me, and will to you too when you go there.
You know this producer? I do not. He's a Falais Prévostat. He's an ancient producer from Avis, and most of the people say that he was the mentor of Anselme Selos. And of course, he is a Grand Cru from Avis, only Chardonnay. Is very, very old style. He makes only one cuvée in 3 different dosage: Brut, Extra Brut, and Pas Dosé. This one is Extra Brut.
Perfecto.
Voila.
So I find that all Nebbiolo producers love champagne.
This is history of Piedmont, because Piedmont was 150 years ago was a kingdom with Savoie, Provence, etc. It's very normal. Of course, the Piemontese dialect is a mix between French and Italian, but is most close to French. We are 40 kilometers from the boat. It's normal. No?
So we should practice. So how do you say cheers though in Piemontese?
Salute.
You'd say the same? It's
Salute.
salute, oh. Well, that's no fun. Grazie. Sarah Lunga life. Sarah Lunga life. Viva Sip Trip. There we go.
So how long do you stay here in?
Due giorni.
2 giorni.
Sì, molto veloce.
2 giorni. San Francisco, 2 giorni and return back.
No. Domani noi guardiamo per quest'anno.
Okay, so you decided to start with the best.
Franco throwing shade.
I go to smoke now.
You go to smoke now?
And Franco pay.
Pay for all.
Sorry, Davide.